saw momentum coming off of this 10-cent level, and then they sent 70% of Mullen's total off-exchange volume into the dark pool where they could short the stock more easily. What's going on, Mullen fans? So why are shorts and market makers continuing to play with this 10-cent level? If you're caught up on my previous videos, you know that this is the setup that I've been watching for Mullen stock in the short term. And on the chart, we have color codes for different levels: 10 cent in red, 12 in yellow, and 14 cents in blue. And as you saw in the short clip at the beginning of the video, it was a previous video I had recorded, that there was some momentum building off of that 10-cent level, and Mullen started to push above 10 cents to head towards 12 cents. It got around 11.50 before there's a lot of off-exchange volume rerouted. Over 70% of Mullen Automotive's total volume was being rerouted to the off-exchange over the past few days. And you can tell by the way the price has just been perfectly declining. And you can also see that 10 cents is still trying to hold strong. I have number 1, number 2, and number 3 times where the shorts were able to crack below 10 cents temporarily, but the price comes right back above it. Is the third time the last time? And the reason why I asked that, because sometimes I like to take a look at the price action and see what types of patterns that these shorts and market makers are using against retail investors, because the system is built against retail investors, if you don't know that by now. So pay attention to the left side of the chart, where you can see where Mullen started to stair step down strategically from around 14 cents per share. Then when it got to that 10-cent level, there was a straight flush down to 8 cents. Okay, that was probably costly for the shorts, and that was probably a big scare tactic for retail investors. Hence the reason that soon after, there was some covering going on. I know there was news, but how many other times where Mullen put out news and the stock barely moved? We've even seen good news on Mullen stock and the price was down as much as 15, 16% off of good news. So my point is, after pushing Mullen stock back down to this critical 10-cent level, you see they've cracked it 3 different times. You got a flush down to 8 cents the first time. Then you got 3 times that they're cracking it below 10 cents. Doesn't that seem like they're testing retail investors? And I think since the tactics are not working, they need to let the stock breathe a bit, just as they did at that low of 8 cents on the left side of the screen. And in my last video, I told you guys that I believe this move is coming. Look how close the TTM squeeze is to going green. Once the TTM squeeze goes green, it indicates a sharp rise in the stock price. And I told you guys I believe this is coming. And I also told you that the shorts and market makers will try to postpone that to a later time, or when the company releases news. That gives them the opportunity to start covering, returning shares, or at least relieving some pressure on the off-exchange volume for Mullen. They could be returning shares through the off-exchange volume, hence the increase over 70% lately. Take a second and zoom out, guys. This is besides the positive news most Mullen investors already know about that is coming for the stock. We have to pay attention to the price action as well. This pop is coming, in my opinion, with amount of down pressure that we've seen, just like back here. Look at all the down pressure, similar down pressure as to now. And look what finally happened when that down pressure ended. This move is still in play, just like back here. They are just playing with this 10-cent level, in my opinion. Why recent news is a red flag for Mullen stock. Major announcements haven't sparked much excitement, and for a good reason. See, while shorts and market makers have stolen momentum temporarily, here they go trying to turn Mullen Automotive's good news into a negative to match the manipulation of the stock price at that 10-cent level exact. Mullen recently made 2 major announcements. However, this has sparked little excitement from investors, and for a good reason. Neither of these developments change the story, and Mullen stock remains at risk of further big declines. What other big declines could Mullen possibly give at 10 cents per share? And also, to go back on this point where they say the two major announcements sparked little excitement from investors, knowing that Mullen Automotive is one of the most top searched tickers out there in the market. So that doesn't even make sense. There's clearly big optimism for Mullen stock, whether it be for a government contract, a big purchase order for the Class 1 EV vans, or partnerships, etc., etc. But Mullen does have an inability to generate revenue. There's been skepticism over its manufacturing and technology capabilities, and obviously there's been dilution of its shares are some of the biggest reasons for Mullen's downfall. But Mullen continues to be a target for traders and retail investors who are betting on its volatility. Let's not forget that. So with the latest news for Mullen stock, with 110 million funding secured, as well as deliveries of Class 1 vans, these media outlets are trying to push the envelope that investors are just not enthused by the news. Meanwhile, the shorts and market makers are playing with this 10-cent level on the last trading day, while the sentiment is portrayed to be negative. But like I said, if they have failed attempts to keep it under 10 cents, then they need to let the stock breathe a bit. So let me know your guys' thoughts on the price action and this 10 cents level in general. Let me know if you've been adding at these price levels. I've actually added today and another day recently this week. So I hope y'all found this information valuable. Stay charged up out there. Don't feed the fear, and I catch you on the next one. I'm gone.
Go. Blessed in abundance. Look who raised from the dungeon. Still come through in the clutch. I'm that dime in a dozen. Filling up clean to the function.